The second major act of devolution envisaged in the Panchayati Raj Bill is the implementation of development schemes relating to the subjects set out in the proposed 11th schedule. He would wish you to pool your experience of the different states of India and suggest the subject which might be set out in a separate schedule in respect of which constitutional authority would be available for the meaningful devolution of powers to urban panchayats. The financial condition of municipal bodies at all levels is pitiable. They barely have the funds to sustain themselves. They are unable to even maintain community assets and services, let alone create new ones. Debt and default are widespread. There is fiscal responsibility allied to financial indiscipline. The second, finances of urban institutions of local self-government is a matter of crucial importance. Much of the wealth of India is generated in urban India. Its rates of growth are significantly higher than in rural India. The asset which municipal bodies sit on, namely urban land, is a very valuable commodity whose value goes on increasing rapidly. We would like you to examine in depth all questions relating to the financial health or urban bodies. You have numerous reports on the subject prepared by committees established by both the central and state governments. You have in the Panchayats Raj Bill the proposal for the establishment of a state finance commission to set out principles on the basis of which taxes may be assigned to or appropriated by Panchayati Raj institutions at different levels. Then there are the grants in aid from the consolidated fund of the state and funds from centrally sponsored schemes as such. Should the proposed state finance commission also set out similar principles or financial devaluation to urban local bodies? Should there be centrally a sponsored scheme for the urban areas? There is also the question of access for municipal bodies to institutional finance and the capital market. We would like your consideration of these financial questions to be guided by the sentiments expressed by Jawaharlal Nehru when he presented his first report as chairman of the Allahabad municipality 66 years ago. Finally, we would like you to consider issues that are vital for efficient municipal administration but are not perhaps amenable to settlement through a constitutional provision. For example, what should be the relationship between the municipal bureaucracy and the elected municipal representatives? How does one ensure harmony and cooperative relations between the municipal bureaucracy and the democratically elected representatives of municipal bodies? Should not urban administration be carried out at the behest of the elected representatives rather than by bureaucratic order, however benevolent and well intentioned? Stop.